In today's video, we're going to revisit a series that hasn't been talked about much lately, one that, for some reason, simply ended. But today, you'll find out what happened to Jeremy Wade from the famous Discovery Channel show River Monsters. But before we begin, if you're not subscribed yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you enjoy the video, leave a like and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any content like this. Now, let's get started. Jeremy Wade became known as a fish enthusiast with a touch of suggestive humor. You've probably heard him, taken out of context, talking about sucking something. In reality, this guy is the aquatic version of Steve Irwin. He's a phenomenon when it comes to extreme fishing. He even lost part of his arm while hunting aquatic creatures. So, how did this adventurous fisherman manage to capture all the monsters lurking underwater and become a global icon? Jeremy was born in Ipswich and raised in Nailsea, where his father was a pastor. From a young age, he grew up near the banks of the River Stour, and that's where it all began. I was about 7 or 8 years old. No one in my family fished, but they gave me a fishing kit. The village where I grew up in England had a small river running through it. There had to be some fish in there, right? But I didn't catch anything for a long time. I was particularly unsuccessful for quite a while, Jeremy recalled. After attending Dean Close School, he became the youngest member of the British Carp Study Group and later went on to the University of Bristol, where he earned a degree in zoology. He then obtained a postgraduate certificate in biological sciences education from the University of Kent. At 26 years old, in 1982, Jeremy embarked on his first international fishing trip to the mountain rivers of India, bringing only 200 pounds to last 3 months. It was during this trip that his desire to track down rare and little-known freshwater fish turned into an obsession. Upon returning to England, he made his debut as a writer, publishing articles for a fishing magazine about his experiences catching fish weighing over 18 pounds in the Himalayas. During his adventures, he quickly learned about the geopolitical risks of traveling to remote areas. In 1989, during a fishing trip in Nong Khai, Thailand, on the Mekong River, which borders Thailand and Laos, Jeremy was arrested and spent a night in jail on suspicion of being a spy, abruptly ending his trip. Throughout his career, Jeremy worked various jobs between fishing trips, from washing dishes to teaching biology in high school. However, his passion for documenting and writing about his adventures made him realize the potential for TV opportunities. He once said that while people knew a lot about marine creatures thanks to the work of figures like Jacques Cousteau, no one had truly documented rare river fish species like the ones he was catching. While traveling through Brazil, he managed to catch a giant arapaima, also known as pirarucu, one of the largest freshwater fish in the world. A photo he took with his phone made its way to national newspapers, catching the attention of a TV producer, which led to the creation of a show called Jungle Hooks. Years before that trip, Jeremy had studied Portuguese for 3 hours a day over 3 months to prepare. However, his career as a TV presenter nearly ended before it even began. In 2002, while filming aerial shots for the show, he heard an explosion from the bottom of the aircraft. I tried to stay calm, but part of me wasn't comfortable with the situation. Small plane, 1 engine, the main door was opened so the cameras could get a clear view. I was in the co-pilot's seat, the pilot was to my left. As we were descending, there was a loud bang, and the whole aircraft started shaking. Something had happened to the engine. The tree canopies were rising fast, just meters away. The sound of branches hitting the plane's underside, I thought, this is going to hurt a lot. There was a loud crash, and then everything stopped moving. My first breath came with a strong smell of fuel. We had landed in a swamp. As I emerged, I was greeted by 4 people. I swam to them, and they pulled me out. Miraculously, everyone was okay, and one of the cameras was still working. The pilot, who had 22 years of experience, had never gone through anything like that before. Surviving a plane crash in the middle of the Amazon rainforest would set the tone for Jeremy's adventurous TV career. After his trip to Brazil, Jeremy reunited with the director of Jungle Hooks, Amazon, to pitch a follow-up episode, this time, another journey to his beloved Himalayan rivers. While in India, he heard stories from locals about people who had disappeared in the river. Investigating further, Jeremy discovered that the culprit was a massive 160-pound gunch catfish, which he eventually caught in an epic episode finale. This event planted the seed for a future TV show. My girlfriend at the time, who was a natural history film director and editor, saw the DVD and said, "I think we have the potential for a different kind of show, one that appeals to the general public, not just fishermen." And that's how River Monsters was born. On April 5, 2009, the first season premiered on the Discovery Channel. In this debut season, Jeremy investigated piranhas, alligator gar, bull sharks, and various species of catfish. The show focused on explaining these creatures' feeding habits, behavior, and conservation status. After the first season received rave reviews and high ratings, a second season premiered the following year. But this season would change Jeremy's life forever. On April 25, 2010, an episode titled Death Ray aired, marking Jeremy's dramatic return to the Mekong River more than 20 years after his arrest. According to him, it was a very rough, physical kind of fishing. These fish, besides being extremely heavy, can anchor themselves to the riverbed because of their body shape. I was using heavy equipment, testing my line with the rod strapped to my belt, with two boats tied together to avoid tipping over, and someone holding my belt behind me to keep me from falling into the water. I was pulling the rod back to bring the fish closer when suddenly, snap! The weight of the fish vanished. In the footage, you can see my face in disbelief, thinking, how did I do this for 2 hours and end up with nothing to show for it? Then, he felt something in his arm and shoulder. A biceps tendon had snapped, costing him about 5 to 7% of his arm's strength. But despite the injury, Jeremy eventually pulled a 400-pound pregnant freshwater stingray out of the water, one of the largest fish he had ever seen. After 9 seasons, 59 episodes, 44 specials, and an average of 1.8 million viewers per episode, Discovery Channel announced the end of River Monsters. Jeremy had literally caught every fish on his list. In a statement after the final season, he said, "Some shows can go on forever, but we have finally run out of subject matter. 10 years ago, I had an impossibly ambitious list in mind, but now I've done everything and more. I've seen things beyond my wildest dreams, and sharing those moments with our loyal Discovery audience made them even more special." After ending the series in 2017, Jeremy continued working in television, appearing in shows like Dark Waters and Mysteries of the Deep. Every scene from River Monsters became, in some way, a meme. But Jeremy gained credibility because his work wasn't just entertainment, it was scientifically and culturally important. He risked his life multiple times and came out victorious. Anyone willing to do whatever it takes for their passion is a true icon in my book. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss another video. We also pick these videos for you. Check them out next. See you in the next video.